Welcome to this July edition of Local Image. I'm Judy Skeie-Voss and I'm at Bald Eagle Lake in White Bear Township. Did you know that the world's first pontoon craft was launched on this lake? We'll tell you all about it later on today's show. And right now we want to congratulate producer Mary Kline and photographer editor Troy Sepion of our sister department, the Government Television Network, on receiving a first place award from the Alliance for Community Media National Hometown Awards for a story they did called Survivors of Murdered Police Officers. And we'd like to share that story with you right now.
I found out recently that with Rick's funeral, Scott and Rick and I and the family were forgotten at the funeral home. Everybody was at Aldridge Arena and we were still at the funeral home. So I thought that must be Rick making a statement there. I don't want to go right now. Rick and I, when we got married, said we wanted to make each other laugh every day. And we did. His sense of humor, his loyalty, not only to his family, but to his friends, to his job. I just miss his presence. I always got up and made him breakfast and made him a nice lunch to take. His lunch was quite a bit of talk in our St. Paul with the officers. Share it with us. And we did our ritual kisses goodbye and see you later. And off he went. Intellectually, you know that it can happen. In your heart, you never believe it will. I had the TV on then, and they said the North St. Paul officer had died. And I knew Rick was the only one on. But, so I opened the door, and then the two squads from North St. Paul pulled up. He had a substantial criminal history. He had violated his order for protection many times. And in fact, the day before, he had violated it. And when Rick saw the flaming rag coming, that's when he pushed the wife and the daughter out of the way, and he got the rag in the face. From what I've been told, I did not look at any of the pictures. I was told that his eyes were burned and his hair was burned, but he was blinded and finding his way to the noise as Devin Dockery was attacking Julie Olson. And that's how he came and got him off of her, because he was choking her and had thrown her into a picture window. And that's when it happened, that Dockery, who was a career criminal, and they do know how to rock the guns out of the different level holsters. That's how he got Rick's gun, because it was not unholstered. And Julie said she saw Rick's eyes when he was shot. She said he never felt anything. So that was a blessing. I met her for the first time at the funeral, and I thanked her, and she was just very humble, and she said she was sorry, and I worried about her. I mean, I had to live with losing my husband. She had to live with watching a fellow officer be killed. I was asked if I would meet with Gail, Joe Bergeron's wife, and I went to the visitation, and we had some private time to sit and visit. And when the twins girls came in, his wife Gail said, "This is Critter's wife." And I thought, I never knew he knew Joe's wife and daughters or had met them. So it's like, oh wow, yeah, we remember Critter. You go on, you want to help other people, because I believe in helping, you're healing yourself also. And if you can give them one little thing to think that life can go on, it's not normal, it's a new normal, but that's great. It gives people a little hope.
He pulled a car over one time, and this guy was doing donuts on a playground, on a school playground. So he stopped the car and he walked up to him and said, "Excuse me, ma'am." Well, he turned and looked, and here was a guy with long hair. And he says, "I'll tell you what, you get on to Bob the barber here and get a haircut, I'll let you go." And he did. The officer had called for backup, which was my dad. And this kid just wouldn't shut up, basically. And he was actually a nephew of another cop on the force. And so they arrested him, and they knew him, and you know, he was kind of a troublemaker, but nothing on a major level. And so as they transported him to Anoka County, to the holding area, when they were taking him out of the car, he had a .25 caliber pistol in his back pocket and reached around and pulled it out and shot my dad in the stomach. For years there was all that resentment and hatefulness and things like that, and I don't know if that's totally gone, but it's diminished, and I feel a lot better about myself and what I do with my involvement with Lima in helping others get through, you know, these times of an officer's death.
Everybody needs to know, if people are killing law enforcement, we're in trouble when we lose that many. It's just awful that our value of someone's life is so low to some people. So I'm hoping to eventually get some laws changed, have the judicial system try and be a little more stringent on the sentencing they give. In the cases of my husband and Joe Bergeron and Chris Dewey, all of these men had recently been released from jail. They were released early. They were released without bail. I just would like to see them be more accountable.
The pain never goes away.
The pain doesn't go away. You just deal with it better, I've been told. I hope so. People tell me I'm very strong. No, not really. You just have to go on. Some days I wish I didn't.
Well, our high school sports coverage may be on hiatus for the summer, but TV19 sports producer Nicholas Anderson brings us some T-ball action in this local image segment.
We're here at Lincoln Elementary in White Bear Lake, getting ready to play some T-ball.
We had a request from a parent 4 years ago. This is our fourth season, and just something for her son to do during the summer. And it came to us to form a T-ball league, and it's been just fun ever since.
Families just have such a blast watching the kids, and I think the kids, you know, get a lot out of it. They, you know, obviously you can see they're having fun out there, and I think they get a lot of self-confidence, and it's just a great, you know, area for them to learn how to perform without, you know, people getting down on them or expecting too much out of them, because this way they get to, you know, just try to do everything, learn everything about T-ball and have a great time. You know, it's just fun. Everybody gets a chance, and I think that's what's great.
One of the things with autism in particular is there's a social element to it, that they might have difficulty interacting socially, and to have opportunities where kids are able to get out with other kids and really be able to interact with them and interact with other volunteers and adults. Whenever we can do that, I think that it's really pushing him to step out of his comfort zone. He's getting used to more people and more surroundings. So that's been a wonderful thing. And actually, I think, especially for my husband, as father and son, to do something as American as baseball together, that every father and son love to have, you know, love to share. I really love that they get to do that together.
And each week you can just kind of see the growth, and some of the kids seemed a little nervous or scared the first week, and now they're just out there having a blast, and so it's a lot of fun. I think the parents are having just as much fun. You know, they get to sit and watch their kids and cheer them on, and you often see, you know, grandparents and neighbors and, you know, kind of get a nice little crowd out here just to have some fun.
I think that people should come out because it's just really fun to see the smiles on the kids' faces and just watching them run the bases, and they're so proud of themselves and we're all proud of them, and it is fun. It's a fun summer thing to do.
Cool. What it's meant for our family especially is, you know, our son has autism, and you know, some people don't even exactly know what that means, but you know, he just has some difficulties with, you know, some different sensory issues. He doesn't have a lot of speech, and he's really pretty gifted physically, very active child. But sometimes for kids with autism or some of the other disorders here, it can be, you know, tough to follow directions and things like that. But here, you know, everyone's just so patient and wants everyone to succeed that it's not a big deal if it takes somebody a little while to run down to first base. Nobody's holding anybody else up. So, you know, I think that's what's really neat. And I know we're just extremely thankful for an organization like Kids Abilities to offer something like this. I never knew it existed until last year, and we've been so excited to have our first summer of playing t-ball, and I hope we can do it for many years to come.
1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Our local lakes like Bald Eagle here in White Bear Township have played a significant role in our recreational lives for many years. And it's here on Bald Eagle where a new wave in recreation was born, as you'll hear for the first time in this Local Image segment.
Did you know that my father invented the first pontoon boat in the United States, which most people don't believe? And at the time, they called it Touchfarber's Folly. His name is Walter C. Touchfarber. He moved here from Wichita, Kansas in 1948. In 1951, he conceived of the idea from a fishing trip that he went to in Canada. He saw at a logging camp some logs being moved with an outboard motor, and that was the kernel of the idea. In 1952, he then proceeded to design, build, and launch the first pontoon boat in the United States. When we launched it, people thought he was a fool. They called it Touchfarber's Folly. And people were lined up and down the street when it was first launched, and they were questioning, is it going to float? Can you turn it? Those kind of things. And then quickly thereafter, his neighbors who were ridiculing him previously said, we want one of those. We've seen how your family, Walter is enjoying this on fishing trips, picnics, whatever, on Bald Eagle Lake. We'd want one of those. So he started having them built for his local neighbors, and pretty soon the demand was so strong he decided to commercialize them. So he built a business around his original invention. From there, he decided to test market the idea, and he ran an ad in Popular Mechanics magazine. It was a classical story. The next week, his mailbox was stuffed with orders for these, and from people from all over the globe. And then he started working on weekends from his garage to assemble and ship $99 kits. And the rest of the story is, if you look around today, every one of these docks virtually has a pontoon boat, and he invented it. We're talking 60 years ago, 1952. Well, I care like everybody in our family cares. They're so proud of my father. He was a tremendous father, tremendous family man, and he loved his community. So as he grew older and we look back, I mean, it was such a contribution to the local community in terms of enriching recreation in White Bear Lake, Bald Eagle Lake. And we're very aware of how it's expanded nationally.
Now don't worry if you don't have a pontoon of your own, because you can always rent one from places like Tahni's on White Bear Lake. And Tahni's is where one of this year's Cities 97 Oak on the Water events occurred last month. We were there to take in the sights and sounds and to meet the man behind the music. Well, we're here at Tahni's Dockside for the Oak on the Water music series, and I have next to me Mr. Brian Oak himself. Thanks for having us on the deck here with you today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's great to have Cities 97 Oak on the Water out for the second year in a row, because last year was your very first year, and that was a huge success. Wasn't it? A little overwhelming, probably.
It was unbelievable. First of all, I couldn't believe that it took us 9 years of doing this every Thursday, you know, going out lakeside all summer long, to make it to a lake like White Bear Lake. You know, it's obviously one of the main lakes in the metro area, so it was nice to finally get out here. And yeah, we did a couple appearances out here last year.
Yeah.
The first one, we didn't have any live music, and we still had over 1,000 people. And then, of course, it was last July. It was early July, right before the block party, where we had both Lissy and OAR come out and perform live just up the road. And I knew that we would have a good crowd because OAR didn't have a tour stop in the Twin Cities on that particular leg of the tour.
Yeah.
And Lissy, of course, was performing the next day at the Basilica block party. At one point, I looked up and I thought there must be 1,000 people here. So I went and talked to the owner, and he said, no, we've already wristbanded more than 2,500 people. And I knew it would be popular, but we had more than 4,000 people come out to join us for essentially a bar gig. So, I mean, it was, yeah, I hadn't seen anything like it in the 9 years, so I cannot thank the White Bear Lake community enough for their support of the station and of Oak on the Water.
Well, tonight will be no exception. I'm sure you'll have a big turnout here at Tahni's as well. And again, we're so happy to have you here. This is your 10th anniversary of doing the show.
It's hard to imagine, I mean, because it's obviously a blast, and I love cities, I love the people I work with, I love the artists that we have come through, but this has kind of become what we do in the summertime. We go and hang out by the lake, and it just keeps going and going, like I suppose anything in life, but all of a sudden it dawned on me that this year, that this is our 10th anniversary. I'm not sure, I mean, it's amazing, but I'm not sure where those 10 years went, but a decade of spending Thursdays by the lake has been fantastic.
I can relate. It's our 10th year of doing the show.
Congratulations.
So, yeah, congratulations to us.
Exactly.
What makes this for you? What really stands out?
Well, I know, you know, it's nice to be able to meet people that listen to Cities 97, because this station is obviously such an integral part of the community. I've been with Cities now for more than 11 years, but it obviously goes back almost 30 years. And Cities means a lot to this community, so to be able to see fellow music fans and the people who have bonded with Cities to come out and show their support for the station, to get to see the music for free, win prizes, and basically, you know, we twist people's arms to blow off their Thursday afternoon and come and spend it with us on the lake. So all of it comes together. It's what we do in Minnesota in the summer. It's getting to see fellow music fans, and again, if this is what I have to do for my job, I'm willing to do some of the heavy lifting.
You know, you have to do what you have to do.
Exactly.
Now tell us about our artists tonight.
Our artists tonight are a great local band, Communist Daughter. Now they're normally, I believe, a four-piece, but we're just going to have Johnny and Molly come out and join us. They've been playing around a lot. They came off of a very successful full-length release recently called Soundtrack to the End, but they have a brand new EP coming out called The Lion and the Lamb, and they've got a bunch of upcoming shows which we'll detail about when they perform a little later on. And in the meantime, they'll start around 6. In the meantime, we'll play Cities music and we'll do giveaways. It should be good.
Do you ever get stumped musically?
Oh, all the time. You know, I seem to somehow have picked up this reputation that I'm an encyclopedia and I know everything. Nothing could be further from the truth. Now, I mean, I do know a lot. I've been around a lot of it. And I always feel fortunate when someone asks me a question that I do know the answer to, because it allows me to seem really smart, like I know what I'm doing. And I do. I mean, I do have a lot of music trivia in my head, and I do pay attention to a lot of what's going on in music. But yeah, I get stumped all the time.
Okay.
All the time.
Good to know. He doesn't know everything.
Yeah, not perfect. Nowhere near.
Not perfect.
Yeah.
And props to the Dennerts for having you guys here today too.
It's always cool to come to a new place. You know, it's more up to our sponsors and the promotions team about where we go every year. I met the Dennerts, and Tahni seems like an awesome place. It's got a cool vibe, almost like a, as my colleague Jason Nagel said, it almost seems like the kind of place you'd see somewhere down in the Keys. It's got an awesome sort of oceanside shack feel to it.
It's got a lot of history to it. We did a story on Tahni's when the Governor's Fishing Opener was based here in 2009. So it's very cool, and it's great that they're hosting tonight's event. And I know you'll be out on the lakes and back here later in June.
That's right.
And then hopefully again, maybe down the road.
Well, we'll see down the road. You know, this is the 10th anniversary season, and I recently moved to the morning show on Cities 97.
Exactly.
So Again, it's not like I'm doing actual manual labor, but you know, doing a double shift still can get a little heavy. So I'm for sure doing Oak on the Water this year. But we've built up such momentum and such equity with it. I'm not sure exactly what the future holds, but cities will definitely do something lakeside in perpetuity. You know, forever. Can't promise I'm going to be there, but we'll see how this year goes, and we'll see what happens next year.
Won't let you out of this.
There's a lot of people that have that same attitude, so we'll see how it goes. Let's get this summer out of the way, where we wrap up in Cancun, something we've never done before. Our final broadcast of the year, early September. We're going down to a 5-star all-inclusive in Cancun. We'll do the broadcast there. We'll reflect on the season that was our 10th anniversary. We'll see what happens next.
I already got registered for that, so
fabulous. Well, good luck.
Maybe I'll see you in Cancun.
Good luck. Well, and again, if you don't win, you can always buy a trip and come and join us. We'd like to have as big a crowd as possible.
Might have to do that. Might have to get my boss to send us down there for another.
Well, it's work, just like it is for me.
Thing. Absolutely. What a pleasure. Thanks again for visiting with us, and rock on tonight, Oak on the Water.
Well, and I mean, maybe another 10 years of Oak on the Water, and another 10 years to you as well.
Let's hope so. Shake on it.
Good luck.
See you later. Thanks.
Absolutely.
For Oak on the Water, well before he was a household name. That is Eric Hutchinson on Cities 97 now.
Tallies is hosting Oak on the Water this evening, and that wouldn't have happened if not for the generosity of the fine folks of Tallies. And I have with me one of the owners, Jan Dennert. How you doing, Jan?
Great.
This is exciting. We haven't visited since the Governor's Fishing Opener. That's a couple years.
Yeah, I know.
2009. That time flies by, doesn't it?
It does, and that was a great event, by the way.
It was a great event. But we're back here for another great event. I mean, how cool is this? How long have you known that this was going to happen here?
You know, Budweiser approached us probably the beginning of May. Okay. So it kind of sprung on and says, hey, would you like to host one of the Oak on the Waters? We said, sure.
This is awesome, and you have a great band here tonight. This place is going to be packed.
We hope so. We hope so. Beautiful day by the water. Come over after work.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
When we visited with you several years ago, we did a story on the history of Tallies. Remind people how long this has been here.
Yes, Tallies is a landmark in White Bear Lake. It has been here since 1939, and it started across the street where we have our restaurant, CG Hooks over there, and that is where it actually started. And they had a boat, like a convenience store at the time. You bought gas over there, you could buy some groceries, you can buy beer, and then they decided to have a boat Liberty over here. So then they pulled a garage, put it over here by the lake, and then they started renting boats from this site. And it has stayed that way since 1939.
Yeah.
In Cities 97's Oak on the Water, week 3 of our 2012 season, we're broadcasting live on White Bear Lake, and it's made possible by Mick Golden Light. My thanks to them, and my thanks to all the people on the east side who've gotten out here nice and early to make a good afternoon of it here on White Bear Lake. You want to come and join us? Details are available at cities97.com. We're back in the music.
Well, that was a fun night, and I even won a couple of tickets to the annual Rock the Vine outdoor concert at the St. Croix Winery. There's nothing like outdoor music concerts to take in while enjoying our beautiful summer season, and there are many more such concerts for you to enjoy right here in our local communities, like Wednesday nights at Richard Walton Park in Oakdale and in downtown White Bear Lake on Thursday nights during Market Fest. We'll close out today's show with a sample of one recent Market Fest evening and invite you to join me again in August for more great local stories. Until then, I'm Judy Skeie-Voss, and I do thank you for watching Local Image.
Produce some good outdoor furniture. It's fun watching the people sit in it, like the little girl sitting in a chair now. They love sitting in real wood furniture. High quality Western red cedar, all stainless steel hardware, waterproof glues, made to be outdoors.
Each individual piece is custom made.
All handmade.
We find them from the racetracks when they're done racing, and their racing owners don't want them anymore, so they'll either be put to sleep or they'll come to a group like us and we'll find homes for them. They're the fastest dogs in the world. They're actually one of the fastest land animals on the planet. They're the only breed of dog mentioned in the Bible. Then we call them the 40-mile-an-hour couch potato because they can get up to 40 miles an hour in 3 strides. So within about 10 feet, they're hitting their top speed. But most of the time, they just like to lay on the couch and be lazy.
Poutine it's called. It's a big dish up in Canada, and it's French fries and gravy and cheese curds. It's like heaven. If you could take
explosive combination.
If you could take a slice of heaven and put it in a bowl, we did that.
Our heroes from across the upper Midwest are coming home from wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. Only now, some have a new battle to fight, unemployment. Hello, I'm Rocky Lynn, co-founder of Tribute to the Troops.
I'm Sergeant Dejan Farrell.
And I'm Captain Ron Jarvie. A survey of our troops serving overseas found 25% say employment is a major concern for them as they come home.
Right now, the unemployment rate for today's veteran is 12%. That's twice the average of others living here in the heartland.
These service members learn quickly. They've experience with advanced technology and demonstrate teamwork, discipline, and leadership under difficult circumstances.
This year, Tribute to the Troops, the Armed Forces, and the Upper Midwest Emmy Chapter are asking you to hire our today's veterans. Employers, you've seen what these veterans have done for their country. Think what they can do for your business.
To hire today's veteran, visit positivelyminnesota.com/veterans.
Heroes come from small towns.